Rishi Sunak today posted a glitzy pre-budget video on Twitter detailing his first year as Chancellor in a move which will inevitably reignite speculation of a future Tory leadership bid. Mr. Sunak's video, the latest example of Brand Rishi, clocks in at almost 6 minutes long and features clips from an informal sit-down interview cut with footage of him in the Commons and out on official visits.
It also shows all of the financial support initiatives brought forward by the Treasury during the coronavirus crisis and sets everything against an orchestral soundtrack. Mr. Sunak said in the video that at the heart of this budget will be honesty and fairness, as he also revealed my face was a complete picture of shock when Boris Johnson offered him the job last February. The Chancellor has also announced that in a budget first he will be holding a press conference on Wednesday at 5 p.m. to answer questions from the public and the media about his proposals.
The publication of the video came as a new poll showed more than a third of 2019 Tory voters would approve of Mr. Sunak replacing Mr. Johnson as Prime Minister before the next general election.
An exclusive survey conducted for Mail Online by Redfield and AMP, Wilton Strategies found some 37% of Conservative backers would support Mr. Sunak getting the top job before 2024.
Meanwhile, a quarter, 26%, said they would disapprove of the switch in leadership.
The poll also suggested that Tory voters are fairly evenly split on which of the two politicians have performed better in their respective roles.
Some 45% said they believed Mr. Johnson had performed better in his role as PM, while 44% said Mr. Sunak had performed better in his role as Chancellor.
The poll of people who voted Conservative at the 2019 general election was conducted between February 23 to 24, just 1 week before Mr. Sunak is due to deliver his budget on March 3. Mr. Sunak was relatively unknown to many outside Westminster when he was appointed as Chancellor in February last year.
He has enjoyed a meteoric rise to the top of the government, and his stock has risen during the pandemic, as he announced repeated waves of financial support for struggling families and businesses.
His rise has been aided by a well-oiled PR operation which has helped to cultivate Brand Rishi.
However, the Chancellor faced criticism from his political opponents last year after he included his own logo and signature on social media posts amid rising speculation that he could one day launch a bid for the Tory leadership.
Mr. Sunak has previously insisted he does not want to be PM, saying in November last year, "I have enough of a struggle just trying to do the job that I have and keep my head above water, quite frankly."
But the poll numbers suggest that Mr. Sunak would have significant support in the Tory ranks if he does fancy a tilt at the top job.
Asked to what extent they would approve or disapprove of Mr. Sunak replacing Mr. Johnson before the next general election, some 25% of Tory voters said they would approve and 12% said they would strongly approve.
Some 32% said they would neither approve nor disapprove, while 18% would disapprove and 8% would strongly disapprove.
Respondents were also asked how likely or unlikely they would be to vote Conservative if Mr. Johnson was replaced by Mr. Sunak.